A banner with the names of the 4 toddlers killed at the Gaba Early Childhood Development Center gently flies at the closed gates of the daycare center. The lives of the toddlers, Keisha Argwen Roth, Gideon Eteku, Ignatius Seriange, and Ryan Odeke, aged between 1 and 2, were ruthlessly ended. The April 2nd, 2026 attack is a day that has stuck in the memory of the parents of the victims and of the first responders. Key murder suspect Christopher Okello Onyum was subdued and arrested at the scene of the crime on the day of the attack. On 13th April, Okello was produced in court, commencing what became 10 days of trial spread across April.
Good morning, madam.
Unlike the conventional sittings of the High Court, the judiciary, guided by President Museveni, opted to conduct an open court trial at the scene of the crime at Ggaba Community Church grounds. Okello pleaded not guilty to the 4 charges of murder, lengthening what was thought by a section that would be a short period of trial.
Is it true?
I plead not guilty, my lord.
You plead not guilty.
Subsequently, the prosecution lined up 18 witnesses who fell into 6 categories, who were the parents of the victims, the caretakers at the daycare, Okello's landlords, psychiatrists, police investigators, and a car hire driver. The parents confirmed to the court the painful loss of their children.
How old was Ryan?
Ryan yali alina emyaka mmeka?
Yalina omwaka gumu n'emyezi 3.
1 year and 3 months. I'm the father.
Where is Seriange now?
Seriange kati ali ludda wa?
Kati mugenzi.
So when was Gideon buried?
Mwamuziika ddi?
Gideon twamuziika Lwamukaaga.
We buried him on a Saturday.
The caretakers of the school testified about how Okello had approached the school on the day before the attack, seeking admission, after which he returned on the second day and paid 195,000 shillings for fees and uniform. They claimed that it was on his way out of the daycare center that he pounced on the vulnerable children and slit their throats, leaving them to bleed to death.
I looked through the window and I saw him on the child. He was bending on the child was under him.
The landlords testify knowing Okello, whom one of them described as having a liking for children. The car hire dealer, Juma Hashim, told the court that Okello had hired a RAV4 from his company 4 days before the attack. Hashim ruled out before the court that Okello could have been mentally unstable because of how he had contacted the car hire company, made payment through the mobile money, and managed to drive himself. The psychiatrist, one of them who examined Okello in fulfillment of the requirement of the government from those seeking citizenships, testified that Okello was found to be mentally stable.
At the time he presented to me, I established that Mr. Onyum Christopher had no established mental disorder.
Okello's mental stability took center stage during the trial as the defense told this line.
His big brother, DW2, came to court and said he was ever in a mental facility, that's Tabika Hospital.
The defense did not dispute in any of the testimonies that Okello was responsible for the deaths of the children, nor did Okello. In fact, Okello testified that there could have been other circumstances that forced him to cause the death of the children.
Were raised that I was completely fine mentally, and yet, my lord, it is possible that there were other kinds of mental challenges that could have gone undetected, perhaps, and yet contributed to cause the death of the 4 children.
The defense lawyers had to present the testimony of Okello's elder brother, who indicated that the accused had been admitted to Tabika Mental Hospital for about 8 to 9 months.
In case this court finds him guilty, is to find an innocent guilty of an innocent person, dangerous to the legal profession.
However, the trial judge, Alice Khaukha, had, in one of the rulings in the course of the case, overruled the defense, indicating that she had found Okello to be of sound mind and that he followed all the proceedings. The defense had filed an application for doctors at Butabika Mental Hospital to be summoned before the court, which the prosecution protested to the agreement of the trial judge that it was a fishing expedition.
In the course of this trial, I have had no reason to believe that the accused is suffering from any mental illness, which would make him incapable of making his defense.
During the trial, the court was told that Okello searched on the internet for ISIS beheadings, but the defense argued in their submission that it was not illegal. Prosecution tendered in court the exhibits, including the killer knife, which was found with the DNA of Okello, with the mixed DNAs of the deceased toddlers. Also, Okello's DNA was found on sunglasses and his trousers, as well as those of the victims. The prosecution submitted that they had proven the ingredients of murder with malice aforethought, placed Okello at the scene of the crime, and his participation. From the submissions of the prosecution and the defense, there is agreement that the murders took place and that Okello was responsible. What is disputed is whether Okello was mentally an upright person at the time. The responsibility of determining Okello's fate squarely rests with Justice Komuhangi, who may decide either to send the accused to rot in prison if found guilty, or he could still end up in prison as a mental lunatic, leaving him in the hands of the Minister of Justice and Constitutional Affairs. The open court, which was opposed by the Uganda Law Society that it was a lynching of the suspect since the ground was not neutral, went on with the near-death incidents. On one of the occasions, the prison van transporting Okello failed to brake and crashed into a blogger who is recuperating in the hospital. On another occasion, a heavy storm swept the tents, leading to a premature adjournment of the trial. Jackson Onyango, NTV.